Hello, this is Julie. I had a question today about how to do print and cut files that come from Make the Cut to cut on the Vue cutter, which uses the InVue software. So the first thing we're going to do is find a design that we'd like to pixel trace using Make the Cut. Now the reason I use Make the Cut for tracing is it has a much better trace feature than the other software that I use. So usually I will use Pixel Trace and Make the Cut when I want to trace an image for cutting. So I'm going to go to the internet, and I did a search for free files, and I found this party hat design that I thought I'd like to use. So I clicked on it and right click and copy image. So then I go into Make the Cut, click on the Pixel Trace icon, which is center of the top toolbar, click on Paste. Now I just want the center image, so I'm going to hold Control and drag around just the center shape. And I would like to bring in the texture so that I have a picture to use. And I want it blacked out because I don't want all the inner detail. I just want the outside lines. And I'm going to move the threshold up to about 250. 255 is max, but 255 will give us the white outlines, which I don't want. I'd like some lines just around the hat. So I'm going to apply changes, and I'm going to look to see what I got here. And that's pretty much what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and import that image, finish tracing. I have a little bit of spots here, so I'm going to click on this and click on split and get rid of these extra little dots here by selecting them and clicking on delete. Now I have an image that I'd like to print and then cut, but I need to do it in the InVue software if I want to cut to my Vue cutter. So what I'm going to do is go to File, Export, Selection to SVG, and I'm going to save this as Party Hat. Party Hat, we'll call this Party Hat 2, and click on Save. So it has been exported as an SVG file with the picture in it. So now I'm going to go to the InVue software and click on this little page icon, which is a light blue butterfly, new file. And for print and cut, we need to always select 8.5 by 11 inches, then create. Now I have selected here for Vue to see my page margins, so display printer margins, and I also want to display a registration mark because I am going to be doing a print and cut. I also want to make sure that I have printable checked in this box here because I want whatever design I add this time to be printable. So I'm going to go now to File, Import, SVG, and go to that Party Hat file that I had saved on my desktop, Party Hat 2, and open. I'll accept the recommended DPI, and there is my image. I can put it wherever I want on the page. Now I want to create a bleed line because sometimes there are variations in the way that printers pull that paper through. And I want to make sure that if I cut straight on these lines, I might get a bunch of white space. But what I like to do instead is change the cutting lines to a color that's close to what I have in the image. Here we have some green. I'm going to right click on the green square on the right to make my cutting lines green. So when I click away, the cutting lines are green. Now before I print this, what I want to create a bleed. That means I want to thicken that cutting line for printing purposes so that when I cut it, if there's imperfections in the way it's lined up, slight imperfections, even though I've calibrated my cutter 3 times to make sure that it's well calibrated, there are differences in the way paper feeds through my printer. It's not the most reliable thing. So when I create a thicker line, I go up to line width, and I'm going to select the image first. Then I'm going to change the line width to 5 points by typing in 5 and enter. Now when I click away from the design, I see a thicker line. If I go to wireframe, you can see that I still have the same lines. These are the lines that are going to be cut, but clicking the W and showing the thickened lines shows me how it's going to print. I can go to File, Print, Preview to see that when it prints, it's going to print with that extra thick lines, and that's what I want. So now that I have it ready to print, I'm going to go ahead and print. Now that it's printed, I'm going to click on the cutter icon or cut control panel to open up my cut control panel, and you'll see that I have the same cutting lines here. I want to make sure that I've selected print and cut in my panel here. Select the paper type. I have lightweight paper, and I've already tested to make sure that this is a good setting for my lightweight printer paper. And then I go ahead and I send this to my cutter. After I've sent it, then I can check my cut file, and by what I get again is the image that has been cut, and most frequently it works very well. Sometimes I have needed that little bleed, but since I created the bleed to match the image, then it comes out just fine, and most often it will look just as it did before I thicken the lines after I get it cut, with the slight green line around it. You can change the line thickness here by changing line width to as thick as you think you might need for your machines to coordinate, and you can select whatever color you want for that line, keeping in mind that whatever color the line is going to be the thickness. The thickened line will have that color. So even if I go up to 10, I have even a thicker line here, but it will still cut on the original cutting lines that you see here. So I hope this helps answer the question about not only print and cut from Make the Cut to InVue, but also for adding bleed lines. This is the easiest way I know of doing print and cut. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Thanks for watching.